Hello everyone and welcome to Beamish Bookworms. We shall continue reading the classic Frankenstein. Chapter 18 The Imprisonment. I don't remember clearly how the next 2 months passed. I was accused of Henry's murder and was sent to prison in a state of delirium, with high fever bringing me to the verge of death. I raved and ranted about the deaths of my loved ones. I used to cry and shriek and curse myself for the murders of my brother, Justine and Henry. The people in the prison were convinced of my insanity due to my continuous ranting. I didn't talk about anything else but the fiend, the monster, and begged people to kill him. I often dreamt of the gigantic monster grabbing me by the neck and strangling me to death. I would wake up scared and horrified. After some days, I started recovering and even my sanity was coming back. I found myself in the small, dirty room of a prison with an old woman sleeping on a chair beside me. I woke her up and asked her who she was. She said that she was there to take care of me, but was unable to understand why a murderer would want to get well when he is still serving his punishment inside the prison. I couldn't blame that woman for being rude to me. I was, after all, responsible for the murders. For her, I was just a murderer and I deserved to be hanged. Later, I found out that during my illness, the magistrate had shown tremendous kindness to me. He had arranged for a doctor to treat me and also a nurse to look after me. He would often visit me himself to see how I was faring. Feeling better one morning, I tried getting up and finally sat up in the chair beside my bed. At that moment, I saw the magistrate, Mr. Kirwan, enter my cell. His face shone with kindness and he asked me, "Are you feeling better now? I hope you are comfortable here. If you need anything else, just tell me." "I'm thankful to you, sir, for showing me so much consideration. But now I only wish to die. Only death will bring me comfort." The magistrate interrupted me. "No, don't be so pessimistic. I have come to know who you are and about your family in Geneva from the papers that were found in your pocket." "My family?" I said in a fearful tone. "What about my family? What happened to them? Are they well? Did that monster kill someone?" The magistrate calmed me down. "Don't panic. Nothing has happened. Your family is fine. And someone wants to see you." Dreading that it would be the monster come to trouble me, I cried, "I don't want to see him or listen to his stories. Don't bring him here, please." Standing up from the chair, he said, "I think you really are the culprit. Or you would have been happy to find your father here." "He's here? My father is here?" I asked, and my heart leapt with joy. The magistrate asked the guards to get my father to my cell to see me. I was overjoyed to see him there, and after many months of suffering, I actually felt some lightness in my being. I asked my father if everyone else was well at home, and he assured me that everything was fine. Knowing that no one was harmed at home relieved me and made me happy. My father didn't stay for long, as his health didn't permit him to. My father and the magistrate took the following weeks to collect evidence from the Orkney Islands where I was staying. The peasants confirmed that they had seen me on the night Henry was murdered, so all the charges against me were dropped and I was out of the prison. Now I had to go back home to ensure that my family was safe and to finish the demon who had destroyed my happiness. I was in constant fear that the monster would kill someone from my family for his revenge. I told my father I wanted to go home, but he didn't think that I was well enough to undertake the journey. I had bouts of fever and rambled and raved in a strange manner about the deaths of my dear ones. My father was puzzled as I blamed myself for their deaths and was unhappy to see me in so pathetic a state. I must have seemed like a lunatic to him, murmuring things to myself. He asked me to calm down and stop feeling guilty for a crime I had not committed. During my illness, I was not much more than a skeletal frame, with bones jutting out and hardly any strength in the body. Even then, I continually requested my father to take me home, and after much persuasion, he agreed. There were times when I thought of telling my father all my dark secrets, but then I controlled the urge, knowing he would be heartbroken. No, I would have to keep the sinful secret to myself. Chapter 19. The Wedding. The day to depart from Ireland finally came, and as I was preparing to leave, a letter was delivered. My hands shook as I opened it, dreading the worst. But I was delighted to see that the letter was written by Elizabeth, asking me to take care of myself. She assured me of her love and support in all times. She wanted to know whether I wished to marry her, as we had promised my mother years ago, or to drop the idea altogether. Glad to see her letter, I was anxious to tell her that I really adored her and wanted her to be my life partner. She was a beautiful person, and I wanted her to be a part of my life forever and ever. But then, a terrifying thought sombered me. I remembered the monster's words. He had promised to see me on my wedding night. I folded the letter and sat, contemplating. My wedding night will be the day when the demon will come back for his revenge. I'm not scared of his threats. If he comes, a bitter struggle is sure to ensue, and I will fight until I die. Either I will be dead, or the monster will be. In either case, I will be unburdened. I also planned to break the secret to Elizabeth after our wedding day. She had the right to know everything about me, good and bad. I told my father that I was ready for the marriage, and he was very happy to know of my plans to settle down. When we reached Geneva, my father told Elizabeth about my decision, and she was overjoyed at the good news. The wedding arrangements began in great earnest, but Elizabeth was worried about my ill health and dismal appearance. She would ask me all the time about what disturbed me so much. Unable to explain my grief, I just told her, "Yes, Elizabeth, you are right. Something has been eating me up from inside. I promise that you will come to know about it soon." When the wedding was only a week away, I made all arrangements to protect me and my family. I carried with me a dagger and pistols at all times. The wedding day drew nearer, and as I was overwhelmed with joy, I thought that the monster would not come. I stopped worrying. The wedding day arrived, and the ceremony took place at my father's house, after which there was a huge party. Everyone in my family was very happy. Our honeymoon was to take place in a villa that Elizabeth had inherited. It was situated on the shores of Lake Como in northern Italy. We started on our honeymoon, passing Lake Geneva, spending a night at an inn in Evians, and started for Italy the next morning. We were both happy in each other's company, enjoying the beauty of the lake and the snowy Mont Blanc. But in the midst of all this happiness, I sensed a fear in Elizabeth's eyes as she looked at me. I guessed she was anxious about the secret that I was to reveal to her. I assured her that nothing would go wrong, but the setting sun in the background brought back my fears. Will the monster actually come here on my wedding night? I shuddered at this thought. Okay, we shall have to stop over here. Victor paid a very heavy price for his refusal to create another hideous creature. His best friend was brutally murdered, and he was accused of the odious crime. No wonder he was delirious with pain, anger, and frustration. The only silver lining in this huge cloud of gloom was his marriage to his childhood sweetheart. Will the creature snatch away this tiny sliver of joy from Victor? Let's find out next time. Now for the list of the difficult words. Delirium, rave, rant, pessimistic, dreading, bouts, pathetic, lunatic, songbird, and ensue. That's all from Beamish Bookworms. Till next time, happy reading, everyone. If you enjoyed listening to this story, please do like and subscribe to Beamish Bookworms. Please press the bell icon to get notified when a new story comes out. Meanwhile, happy reading, everyone!